Roll Tide, everybody. It's Bama-LSU week. We're going to talk about that on the last call. We're going to do it now. The Crimson Tide and the LSU Tigers. A lot going on. Hugh Freeze fired. We'll get into that. So make sure that you like, subscribe, thumbs up. Brought to you by the good people over at Pearl River Resort, Philadelphia, Mississippi. The Azaleas, the Oaks, two amazing golf courses at Dancing Rabbit. And I'm going to talk to a guy that plays a lot of golf. All right, Roll Tide, everybody. Jake Coker and Mick Gillispie. It's like hanging out with Jordan Spieth.
Yeah.
We'll be at Dancing Rabbit. We'll be there in a couple weeks. We
2 weeks, right?
What's that?
2 weeks, right?
2 weeks. Yeah, we got to do another one of your commercials. Have you been practicing your lines?
I haven't seen them. Just I feel like I do them better when I just show up and wing it.
Wing it. Yeah. Apparently, I'm going to be in this one too.
There we go. Still got it.
Oh yeah. Well, they saw what happened last time, and they were like, "Okay, we need more Mick Gillispie."
we need to give him some words this time.
Just kidding. You did your commercials. I should play it right now. Your commercial's great. So I'm curious to see what the next one's going to look like. All right. What a weekend of college football. Auburn scored 3 points, and Hugh Freeze got fired. I would have never thought that they would have lost 10-3 to Kentucky, and they fired the guy. So they're looking for another coach. I said this on my show on the Bama Tailgate channel. I'll say it here. He was a good coach. I mean, you got to be patient sometimes. I think he was a good coach. Now what?
Man, I don't know. Watching Auburn this year has been one of the most painful watches. It'll actually make you angry watching them on offense. I mean, I don't know. To me, with Hugh Freeze being an offensive coach, I mean, that's his bread and butter. I mean, to watch what's gone on with Auburn on offense this year, I mean, their defense, DJ Durkin, that's who they need to be talking to about being the next head coach. They need to avoid paying some big salary, some big contract. I mean, I'd give DJ Durkin a chance, much like Venables. I think he's probably, he's one of the best D coordinators in the SEC for sure. He's always been consistently good on defense, and I mean, he's held them in these games, kept it close the entire year. I mean, that's the only reason why, I think Hugh Freeze references being so close to being good. Kentucky, just that game to score 3 points. And look, I really, really like Stoops. He was at Florida State when I was there. He was at DC, and you're going to have a well-coached defense, but at the same time, Kentucky that's their first SEC win, I believe, since 2023.
Wow!
So,
really?
I thought I saw that stat at the end of the game. It may have been September of 2024, but either way, it's been over a year. Like you got to find a way to win that game, and then you're playing them at home. Just another horrible offensive performance. You can't figure out who the quarterback is. You've been there for 3 years. That's been your strong point is offensive play and finding a way to make quarterbacks productive. It just looks like those guys, when they get the snap, they don't know what to look at or how to get the ball out. I mean, I can't remember how many sacks they gave up, but I do think Hugh Freeze is a good coach, but I don't know how. I know Brian Harsin seemingly gutted that program his entire tenure at Auburn, but
yeah,
at the same time with the transfer portal, 3 years I've said it about Kalen DeBoer. No matter what happens last year, this year, next year's the year where he's got to really, show his worth at Alabama. I think he's already doing that now. It's a huge relief that Alabama is where we are right now under Kalen DeBoer. And he's got, to me, if you look at the quarterback room, he's got two quarterbacks right behind Ty Simpson who are very capable of taking on that mantle as the head guy or the leader of that team after Ty Simpson leaves. So you got to feel pretty comfortable as an Alabama fan. But the 3 year, that to me, the 3 years in this day and age in college football is kind of where you got to figure out if you're moving in the right direction or not. And Auburn, while DJ Durkin looks good on defense, made that defense look good, that offense you can't even watch it. It's the dumpster fire. And,
yeah, right. Well, can I just say this?
I like Hugh Freeze. I do. I mean, look, he's made his mistakes. We've all made our mistakes, but I know a lot of people that know him pretty well, and they all have a lot of good things to say about him. I think he's a good guy. Just again, made a few mistakes in his career, but I think Auburn's left with no decision but to move on.
Yeah, well, they fired him. I mean, if you're John Cohen, you're in a spot where you really don't have a choice because you're getting so much pressure from everyone. But it's not like Hugh Freeze just forgot how to coach. I mean, he took over a program that just forgot how to win, and then I hope that doesn't change.
I hope they fire DJ Durkin too.
I mean, woo! It's been hard watching them, but it's been enjoyable, to be honest with you. And I hope, like I said, we got.
Well, I was sitting there watching Auburn and flipping back between Auburn, Tennessee, the World Series, and I looked over at my father and I was like, man, at some point you kind of feel bad for Auburn. He goes, nah, don't even go there.
Yeah. So, don't even go there, big heart coker. No. They'll be fine. They'll be just fine. I'm curious to see what school Lane Kiffin goes to because he's the hottest name in coaching, your former offensive coordinator.
I had this. I'm in a big text group chat with a big Ole Miss homer, and he was trying to tell me that Ole Miss is a better job than LSU, and I was like, that'd be a good question. Where do you think Ole Miss lies in terms of best coaching job in the SEC?
Well, I think that for Lane Kiffin, it's the best coaching job in the SEC because, that if you have a year like Hugh Freeze had, they still wouldn't fire you, I don't think. And he's had more success there than Hugh Freeze, who did a good job at Ole Miss, beat Alabama a few times too. So, but never won an SEC, never got to an SEC championship. Kiffin has reinvented himself. He's trying to change the narrative that was what really held him back behind the scenes. He's done a good job of that, and people like him. I mean, he even though he's kind of, as Chris Lowe calls him, Eddie Haskell, which was a kind of a character on Leave It to Beaver, that liked to stir things up. I feel like his stock has never been hotter, and it took a lifetime of, I used to say this about him. He was born on third, but he thought he hit a triple, right? Like he got a lot of breaks early in his career because of who his dad was and all that stuff. And then he would do stuff off the field, and you don't have to comment on this, but just covering it, you'd hear about it and be like, no way. And then one would be way crazier than the other. And then now I see him on TikToks with his daughter, and he's not drinking. And even though he still talks a little smack, it's just a lot less abrasive. The coaching's gotten better. He can recruit. So, all those stops and all those failures and those public failures and, him getting fired on the tarmac and the owner of the Raiders having a press conference, ripping him, and which I've never seen before, by the way. The way that he left Alabama, which to me personally left a bad taste in my mouth, because had he been focused, that team would have won the national championship. They had better players in Clemson. They had the best defense maybe Bama's ever had. Saying a lot. And they lost because dealing with him. So all that to say, I feel like he's kind of there now. This is what his career is going to come down to, right? With this decision that he makes. LSU's a much better job. Florida's a better job. Just because of the fact that there's a track record of winning national championships. Multiple coaches have done that. I mean, Ed Orgeron won a championship, for God's sakes, at LSU. You don't have to, you can get all those in-state players. They're rabid fans. They're actually, they're understanding. I mean, they gave Brian Kelly chance after chance. He kind of screwed that up, I think, more than Hugh Freeze.
And you're talking about a guy who left Notre Dame to come to LSU.
Yeah, right. So, I think of those three jobs, the SEC jobs, I would rank them LSU 1, Florida 2, Auburn 3. Well, I guess I'd throw Arkansas in there 4, right? But it's crazy to me that these coaches with these huge buyouts just get fired like this. My whole thing's been, if I was an AD, I'm not firing you until I have your replacement. I think you got to have the right guy. And Bama fell into this trap, guys. That's the thing. Like, let me pull up my picture again. I got to keep throwing this up there. me and Dennis Franchione. That's before Mike Shula. That's after Mike Dubose. It's in the middle of the mics, the 3 mics. You do more damage than you do good when you fire these coaches, unless you get the right guy. So Lane's going somewhere. He's going to be paid. He's about to make more money than he's ever made. This is his chance to get somewhere where he can
think he's out?
Elite talent. Oh, 100%. No doubt.
I just don't see him getting out of there.
100% gone. He wants out.
With his family in Oxford. I mean, Oxford's the only place that he can. It's one of the few places where he can make it high profile and get away with the banner back and forth with. Yeah, I mean, and like you said, I think at this point it's healthy banner. It's him being him. People appreciate it at Ole Miss. Builds more of a spotlight for them and creates more excitement. You go to LSU. I mean, you watch Brian Kelly make comments. I mean, he didn't manage his media spotlight very well, to say the least.
Well, he faked that Southern accent, Jake.
Yeah, I mean,
you ever do that? Oh, you don't have to.
I've tried to tone it down a few times.
Yeah, no, I hear you, man. Like, I don't know, like coming from Baltimore going to Alabama, I remember being down there and getting hell from people at first, and then I've lived down here longer than I've lived up there, but I've never heard a worse Southern accent. Like, I remember my cousin telling me she lived in Biloxi, and before I moved down here, I'm talking about little kids. Forrest Gump comes out, and she was like, "That little kid accent in Forrest Gump is bullshit." And you go back and listen to it now, and it's terrible. It didn't even close. Tell me that. You know what I'm talking about? Young Forrest?
Oh, yeah.
He didn't work very hard on his accent. All right, so we'll see what happens there. It's obviously going to affect Alabama. Now you got LSU coming in. I call them the headless Tigers. Sometimes teams play better when they get rid of their head coach. They're more unpredictable. They're willing to take more chances.
That's what I saw. The line came out Sunday where I saw it at 11.5. think that's a pretty good line. But the problem is with this game is it's kind of like you said, how's LSU going to come out and play? And I think honestly, I think they play probably better than they have. And the reason I say that, I mean, you watch the body language of those guys. Just when you watch Brian Kelly pull Garrett Nussmeier off the field, you see the way that interaction went about. I mean, I think those guys are going to be fired up, ready to move on, and it's going to give them a little spark. Now, having said that, I don't know what their ceiling is. I think they're better than what they've shown this year, but Alabama, I think bye weeks can be helpful or detrimental to you. I think this is extremely helpful for us. The stretch that we went through, probably the hardest 4 to 5 game stretch that anybody's faced in the country. A lot of guys beat up. Give some guys a couple weeks to relax and get their bodies right. This is probably the most needed bye week of anybody in the country. So, again, I've said it before. You come out of a bye week sometimes and you feel like you're out of rhythm, kind of gotten a little rusty. It is a little strange, even thinking that. Usually you think, the bye week gives you a good time to reset, but I think sometimes it can be detrimental depending on the circumstances of the season you're going through. But, man, I think this is going to be great for us. You watch us against South Carolina. Ty is finally having a dip in performance against South Carolina. And I think that's just just brutal, just physical tiredness, whatever you want to, physical wear and tear.
And mental too. I mean, you got to figure it's mental too, right?
Yeah. I mean, you see him miss a few balls that you haven't seen him miss at all the entire season. I think it's just part of it, just being worn out. But, these guys, I think after that loss to Florida State, really understand the importance of showing up week in and week out. And you can say what you want to about South Carolina. That's a tough situation no matter who's in there. I don't care. You got
Hey, who's
Tom
not
Brady
in there, by the way? Well, hold on. Who's not in there, by the way? Mike Shula, he got fired too.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I saw that.
They saw the same thing I saw, which was that game against us where they got Shula'd, and we had been Shula'd a lot in Tuscaloosa. I'm just kidding.
Yeah, just kidding.
I do like Mike, man. He's one of our guys. But man, it was that exact game over and over and over and over again. You got to go for the jugular, man. I'm watching the World Series and I'm thinking if I'm Toronto, I got a chance to win this game right now. Let's suicide squeeze. Let's do something and win the damn thing right now and not have to face this billion-dollar roster with all these stars. You have a chance to win it. You didn't, and then you lose the World Series. It's the same thing in these football games.
That was the craziest Game 7 I've ever seen. That was awesome.
No, the craziest Game 7, and I had my World Series ring on yesterday. And it's not in here. It actually doesn't fit anymore. It's gotten small, or my fingers have gotten big. Was Game 7 in 2016 with the rain delay. But this one was just as good. This one was just as good.
You're talking about Astros Cubs, right?
I'm talking about Indians Cubs.
Okay.
Cleveland Indians Cubs. Yeah, they hit the home run to tie the game. And then Cubs had a huge lead, blew it. Game gets rain comes, in the middle of in the 9th or the 10th, go in. Ben Zobrist gives the Cubs the lead. They hold on to win. Had friends on both teams. That was crazy. But this one was too. I mean, they're classics, man. The fact that they had a game that went 18 innings in that World Series. And that Yamamoto pitched twice, dude. He pitched Game 6 and Game 7.
Yeah, that must be what I remember the Astros Cubs being crazy too, and that was right around that same year.
You're thinking Cleveland because Cubs and Astros didn't play.
Okay.
Yeah, you're thinking Cleveland.
All right.
But so Shula's out. But all right, let me give you some comparisons here. And before we do that, I want to say this, that we're brought to you by Residence Inn by Marriott Ocean City. Our guy Keith's awesome dude, and he got our sizes. He's sending us some gear. So I can't wait to see what that is. The gang at the next round went and did their show there. Coker, we need to go do our show there. Beautiful sunsets right there on the OC coast. You're talking about Secrets Bar, which is just one of the amazing beach bars in the world. They've got the boardwalk there, great seafood, music fests, fishing tournaments, all that stuff. It's just fantastic. It's right there in Ocean City on the coast. That's where we used to go when I was a kid before I moved down here. And I can't wait to go back up there and see them. So you guys are planning a vacation. The hotel's amazing. They've won back-to-back coastal style hotels of the year there. They got a dynasty going like Alabama, like the Dodgers. All right, I'm gonna give you some offensive stats here. Bama scoring offense is 33rd. LSU's is 84th. This was the one that surprised me. Bama's rushing offense is 112th, which is terrible. LSU's is 125. So Bama's averaging a 118 yards plus per game. LSU 106 plus per game. Does that surprise you at all?
I mean, what is LSU's passing efficiency? What's their pass yards per game?
They are passing wise, they're 49th at 249 plus per game. Bama's 17 at 219 per game.
You know, it doesn't surprise me. I mean, LSU, you know, for Alabama, we're so dynamic throwing the ball. I mean, a lot of weapons and a lot of developing weapons as well. LSU, I mean, you watch them and they look like – and here's one thing about Ty, and I know Garrett Nussmeier has been there a while too, but when you watch us on offense, I mean, we're so much more precise. Our guys are in the right spot, and it seems like Ty and the rest of the receiving corps, along with Jeremy Bernard, we're on the same page. Everybody understands where they're supposed to be. The timing's right. Ball's out when it needs to be. You know, you watch LSU, and in a lot of critical moments, man, it's like I can't tell you how many times I've seen Garrett Nussmeier talking to a receiver, telling them, you know, which way they should have taken the option route. You know, I mean, should have been flatter, should have been more vertical. Yeah, I mean, it's all. I feel like it's always in those critical downs. They just can't figure it out. They're just not quite as dynamic as Alabama, and it's kind of surprising to me. That's a coaching issue. You've had guys there for a while. I feel like what is LSU's? I haven't dug into it yet, but what's their depth look like in on the receiving end, within the receiving corps?
I'm not sure. I mean, I don't know what their depth is.
Yeah, you know, one thing, to me, that's obviously that's a lot of to me that's a coaching issue. When I was at Florida State, and I'll never forget. I mean, just every practice, you know, Jimbo was right behind the quarterbacks, and so, you know, I mean, whether it was, you know, running a smash route, coming out high, breaking it off, you know, getting your eyes around, you know, getting out of your break and getting your eyes around after you accelerate out of that break. You had the head coach right behind you, just on everybody's ass about exactly how each route should be run, when the ball should be out. And so there wasn't a whole lot of miscommunication on that front. I mean, sometimes you get a little ahead of yourself in terms of install when you see certain things on defense, and so you run stuff, you know, probably not too many times during the week, but your base packages, your base routes and schemes, I mean, it was so dialed in because you had a coach behind you. I mean, if a quarterback didn't even have time to talk to a receiver, and Jimbo was on their ass, you know, about how to run those routes. And those are things that, I mean, championship teams, you cannot have those critical moments where guys are not where they're supposed to be, or there's miscommunication on 3rd and 8, 3rd and 7, you know, that 4th and 3 you got to have. And
let me say this: you got Aaron Anderson. Remember him? He transferred from Alabama. He's like one of their. You asked about wide receiver depth. He's one of their best guys. He's been banged up, right? Chris Hilton Jr. is one of those guys. They got Byron Brown and Nick Anderson as transfers. They lost last year Kyron Lacey, who's one of the best receivers in the league, and C.J. Daniels. But I don't think that that the wide receivers have been anywhere close to what they had last year.
Yeah. No, that's right. And that sounds about right. I'm going to look into it more as we get closer to that Thursday show. But, just watching them on offense, it just, again, it just seems out of sync. And at some point, and it's caught up with them a lot this year. I mean, obviously, you look at their record and what their expectations were at the beginning of the year, just not being on the same page. And a lot of that is uncertainty. And, I always say when it's like South Carolina, when we're not quite hitting on all cylinders, I always love, and I used to tell or say this to Jimbo all the time is, man, we're out of sync. Let's just go 2 minute. Let's just go 2 minute down the field. Guys don't have enough time to think about what their routes are. Okay, what do I do against this or that? I mean, you line up and you run, and you just rough out all the inconsistencies because you're not thinking too much. You're just running the route full speed and doing what you think you need to do instead of having time to think about it.
Right.
And I think, again, LSU, that's when they come out without Brian Kelly, there's going to be a lot less thinking going on, a lot more playing. And so that's what, to me, you got to worry about. But
yeah. No, I agree with you, man. I think these are all dangerous games. I mean, they have good players. We have good players. Like, they have a track record of success in Tuscaloosa, really about as good as any team in the SEC. It's always been weird. Like, they've won in Tuscaloosa and we've won down there.
Man, you look at Florida this week and you hear Kirby Smart say it. I mean, Billy Napier's done a good job of building a roster down there. It's just, again, pieces not falling into place, maybe not a good fit in terms of coaching those players that you bring to Gainesville. But, I mean, that team has some players. They got a lot of talent. They could have easily beaten Georgia this past Saturday. A lot of missed opportunities. But you watch Tennessee, Oklahoma. I mean, Tennessee, in my opinion, is the better team. And I mean, many, many missed opportunities. But you got a lot of talent on that Oklahoma defense. And they just came up with the big plays and the big moments. I mean, that fumble return for a touchdown, taking the offense out of it, stiff arming that tight end to the ground and making it all the way to the opposing end zone.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just pure talent. Can't coach it. Make a huge play. That's a huge difference in the game. They won by 6 points. That was ultimately probably the differential in winning and losing that game.
Yeah, it was. Well, and Oklahoma's next on the schedule. I mean, I was worried about their defensive line and getting after the quarterback. They're back there all the time. It's going to be another tough test for Alabama. And you can't look ahead because, LSU and Auburn don't have head coaches. So two of the 4 teams on your schedule.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, no, that's right. That's right. But you never know. I mean, and we play Auburn in Jordan-Hare. I mean, we all know what happens in that stadium. It's, it's voodoo central. You never know what's going to happen in that stadium. Ball bounces weird ways. Oklahoma is one of those teams that kind of drives me crazy too. I mean, I've got a little. You might as well call it a fantasy pool in the office. I mean, I took Tennessee because I do not believe in Oklahoma, and I mean, look what they do. Just Tennessee, horrible turnovers, consistently pushing the ball down the field in the first half. Should have just ride the momentum into beating them, but Oklahoma just makes these crazy plays and ends up pulling off a victory, which is what they've done in on big stages, week in and week out when they do win those big games.
What'd you think of the dark mode Tennessee uniforms?
I mean, it's a pretty cool aesthetic, but a lot of wasted energy, I guess.
Yeah. Well, I just want to make sure that everyone's clear that you're hoping that Alabama does dark mode.
No. Can
you imagine?
We're not about dark mode? No. Alabama's not about gimmicks. We're about tradition. We don't need to pull anything out of the closet. Don't need to start anything new. We don't need to be rushing the field. We beat you. We go home. We have our celebratory beer, go to bed, and beat somebody's ass next week. That's it.
It's like, I just always think of Jim Wells when he was baseball coach at Alabama, saying he didn't want us to look like we just got out of Hibbett's. Like all the crazy uniforms and stuff like softball does. Nah, we're just gonna wear crimson hats. And you're not getting a new hat. You're gonna have an old hat. I used to kick ass back then.
Yeah, I like the Kurt Signetti line. A year or two ago, we just what did he say? We roll in town, kick your ass, and go home.
Yeah, he'd be that guy's got Indiana at number 2 right now, and they've going to Oregon and beating Oregon is something, man. It's a big win for them. And
it's crazy what he's done.
We're kind of going back to these uniforms. Oregon did a Grateful Dead collaboration with Nike. I don't know if you saw this. And they had shoes like Grateful Dead. It was really like Grateful Ducks, although I called them Dead Ducks. So they made their duck like the bear, and then they did all this merch off of it. And I think it's genius, not just because I'm a deadhead, but because you can sell all of that and it's marketable. I don't know how Alabama could keep their tradition, but still be creative like that, but they need to, because they've got to generate revenue to be able to take advantage of this giant fan base so that we can continue to have the players that it's going to take to win championships. If that money, if they come up with creative ideas like that and somehow it trickles down to NIL, I'm all about it. But that doesn't include us doing like a uniform thing. Now, I think we should do the white helmets once a year. Bear Bryant. I got the picture right here. Bear Bryant did it, Jake.
I know.
The bear. Are you saying the bear's not traditional? What if we did white helmets against like Eastern Illinois or something? Throwbacks.
I mean, I can get on board with that just because the bear did it. But
okay,
the blacking out.
The bear did it.
The blacking out.
I'm not saying dark mode. I'm just saying.
Yeah, the blacking out's taking it a little too far.
when we played Florida in the
man, I hate Oregon's approach to uniforms. Like, there's nothing traditional about it. It's just, which I'm sure it's a good selling point for Phil Knight, and that's why they do it. But I can't stand not having a traditional uniform you run out on the field with. I cannot stand it. It's that it goes against. I see why they do it in the NFL. I get it why you do it in the NFL. I mean, there's not a whole lot of. I just don't see the NFL being as a traditional league as college football. I mean, half of what college football is traditions and culture, and so I don't know, man. You gotta represent what got you there. And Alabama's always been about toughness. It's not about the uniforms. You go out there and you leave it on the field. And again, we're used to winning. We don't rush the field, and we don't try any new tricks. It's just pure toughness and effort. That's it.
Yeah, except this year when we've done all kind of tricks on offense.
Yeah, but that's okay with me.
Every week's a new trick. You got to admit that. Ryan Grubb he's got something up his sleeve constantly. It's been pretty fun.
Hey, as long as it leads us to victory, I'm good with it.
You like those tricks. When the trick gives you one of these at the end, a dub. Looking forward to a couple things, guys. First off, I want to tell you that we got a new partner on here, and that's Patriot Roofing Birmingham. Thank you, guys. Patriot Roofing Birmingham, part of the show now. And you and I both know, I mean, being down here on the coast, that you got to have a good roof. I'm all about a fortified roof. And I think next time I get a roof on my house, I get the guys from Patriot to come do it and fortify it. I mean, you're down here by these hurricanes, man. I mean, but tornadoes the same way. You want to have a roof that's going to protect your house. These guys do a great job. PatriotRoofingBirmingham.com. You can find out more information. But it's one of those things that you want to make sure that your roof is on point. You don't. I know you're a contractor now. I don't want to bring up any bad vibes here, but you got to admit, like, good roof is good thing, right?
Yes, I get a feeling when you hear that wind blowing during a Cat 4 and you're wondering if this house is going to hold up.
Well, we appreciate those guys for being on with us. The tailgate show, will be at Innisfree 1 to 3 on Friday. Come out and holler at us. Got some swag to give away. We'll record it for the radio on Saturday, previewing this game. So it'll be fun. It's gonna be a fun week. You and I'll get back together. Another one of these shows. What, Thursday? You saying Thursday?
Yeah, maybe. I mean, Wednesday, Thursday, whatever. We'll be getting together. I just don't know what day.
You got to come over, man. I just redid the studio.
I see. Yeah, I see. You got the Daniel Moores in different spots.
Yeah, I put yours in a prominent location. And since you brought Kenyon Drake to the show, I've got his statue right under your picture.
There we go. We got matched Daniel Moore's.
Yeah. You got to hang yours on the wall instead of having it propped up over there.
I know. I got to get it together.
It's time for you to take your office to the next level, like your other office. Where's the Cotton Bowl trophy at?
That's at my house right now.
Yeah,
I get it moved though.
I put shelves up in here and everything. Took me 2 days, by the way. I mean, it's like you. And a lot of stuff I took down, I'm like, I don't really want to take this down, but I kind of felt like it'll come back out next year. Like it'll feel like it's brand new again.
Yeah. Well, you got a lot of work. You got a lot of work going on. It's I'm impressed. You've been moving quick.
Yeah. Well, once we're redoing the doors, you know this because I broke one of them. Cutting the edging, rock flew up, broke the glass. So 22 Builds is actually my contractor.
In the South Carolina game, throwing TVs.
Ryan Anderson from 22 Builds is my contractor. And he's fantastic. You may know him. Played in the NFL.
Yeah, he's done a good job for you so far, hasn't he?
Yeah, he seriously, he really has. He's the attention to detail that Ryan puts into all this stuff is. I mean, he did the doors on my house already. They're fantastic. Every time I walk through them, I'm like, man, these couldn't have been any better.
Yeah.
So that's why I was like that. I think we're going to do the floors and some other stuff, maybe in the kitchen. I'm going to use him. Anyway, I guess that's it, man. I guess that's show number 1 this week.
LSU hate week. Here we come.
Yeah. I mean, it's such a weird week with Brian Kelly out because I'm not really sure what to expect. But I don't trust the Tiger as far as I can throw him.
There's no better way to celebrate that than kick them while they're down.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think we'll come out fired up. But anyway, all right, guys. Well, look, thanks for hanging. Again, we're brought to you by Pearl River Resort, Philadelphia, Mississippi. The Timeout Sports Lounge, Vegas-style sports book right there. Golden Moon Casino, an hour and a half from Tuscaloosa, 2 and change from Birmingham. It is just like Vegas, man. You walk into that sports book, you got 20 big screen TVs, full-size bar. You got the window. You got individual kiosks. We're going to have a great time there. I can tell you this. When we go to shoot this commercial, we're going to play golf. We're going to eat at Philip M's, which is the steakhouse there. I'm going to get the tomahawk steak with the Pittsburgh sizzle, and he's going to get the saffron chili, chowder, which is amazing, which you wouldn't even think that is kind of the staple of that place. That stuff's so good.
I may get one ribeye Pittsburgh style and one normal.
Yeah, that's so good. But anyway, we're going to be there. Then we'll go hit the floor for a little bit. It'll be a lot of fun. So you guys can have that same experience. And here's your spokesman. Roll Tide.
I may not suit up on Saturdays anymore, but I'm still in the game.
Let's roll.
In here, I call the plays, make adjustments, and lay it on the line. Want to feel that fire, that rush? Then you've got to get in the game. I used to say it in the tunnel, and I still say it now. Let's roll.
Let's roll.
All right, Roll Tide, everybody. We'll talk to you next show.